think we got everything sorted the way we wanted to. It was a little bit of a touch and go situation there for a second, but I think we got it. A little bit of weird technicalities of mine, so we got started just a touch late compared to where we wanted to be, but this is fine. We're going to be on for probably somewhere around 2 hours, maybe 2.5, and then I have to go record Magic Mike's with my boys. So we're going to go do that. But for now, we're going to see about building some stuff with Marvel Superheroes. So let me just check and make sure we are all good across the board here on all our different platforms, that the stream is going the way we're intending, which so far looks good. Always nice when there's no problems. Doesn't always go that way, but we like it. So yeah, how's everybody been feeling about the new set so far? Gotta mute myself so I'm not hearing myself in echo. There we go. Happy Tuesday to you, Paul. How's it going? New set release day for everybody, so that should be lots of fun, which is the main reason we're doing this. Give everybody a chance to maybe work on a deck together, see if there's something going on that they just want to test out or maybe don't know about. We can build a deck or two together and see if we can make it work. Some of them might be disasters, but every once in a while, we come across something that works. But yeah, it looks like everything's working the way it should, which is very good. So the extra time spent before I went live worked out. So yeah, we got people on all different platforms, so thank you for hanging out today. You're very busy and very well. You know what? Being busy isn't bad. I always tell people I like being busy because when I'm not busy, I'm wondering why I'm not busy. I like staying busy. That's how I pay my bills. So yeah, as people kind of file in here, I guess the first question I have for folks is, what type of decks are you looking to build? What's got your attention right now? What should we be trying to put together? You get to burn my resources right now to try stuff or see stuff in action, so you don't have to spend yours, Yep, Stream Elements remind everybody that we are streaming Marvel Superheroes, so come on in, say hello. But yeah, this has been an interesting set, right? Because I think it's a little bit of a catch-22 type situation, right? People want the individual sets or set mechanics to be super impactful, right? Like, I want to build around this mechanic and I want it to be a thing. And then when it's not, they feel disappointed. But at the same time, they don't necessarily want to have to build new decks. They want cards that work with old decks, right? And I don't know what the right spot is for Wizards to fall into. Because I do think heroes are good out of the set and villains are good out of the set. I just don't know if we need to be playing full-on hero decks or full-on villain decks, right? And I like the idea that there's something for the Simic decks, something for the Izzet decks, something for the mono red, for the white auras decks or whatever. Like there's bits and pieces, and some decks that have been kind of, I don't know, what's the best word? Languishing, for a little bit when we're talking about stuff like the equipment decks. There's a lot of cool new tools, right? If you want to play the artifact creature decks, there's a bunch of cool new tools. So I personally would almost rather have that, especially when we're in I don't know, I'm trying to think of a number. Are we in a 16 set standard, 17 set standard, whatever it is right now? It's a lot, right? You're not going to have as much impact in total of a set because there's just so many cards to pick from, right? But also, I think players not, especially if you're playing in paper, right? Players not having to build all new decks to feel like they need to stay competitive isn't a bad thing, right? If somebody can go, hey, I just need a set of this 4 cards or whatever to put into my deck so it's at least up to speed with new stuff, that's cool, right? You don't have to spend a ton of money. And then they can still go buy boosters and other stuff, but to just build out that deck, I think that's actually a cool option. 7FPV Media says, want to build something with Hulk and artifacts. I don't know if those go together is the problem. I think artifacts and maybe a Hulk, but I don't know if we put Hulk and artifacts in the same thing. There's a lot of non-starters with new cards in standard because there isn't support for them. Their wizards does make cards exclusive for a commander. I don't think it's even about making stuff exclusive for a commander in every set. I think that argument's overused. I think obviously the stuff that's put in the commander decks are specifically for commander. But a lot of times when people say, "Oh, this card's for a commander," and I'll ask them, "Okay, but what decks really want that? You know, what decks are looking forward to playing that?" And a lot of times they're like stretching to come up with a deck that wants it. It's like sometimes cards are just cards, right? And there's been some cards that look like they were for standard play, or whatever, and eventually become, or for commander play, and eventually become standard playable, right? So I don't think there's really a clear delineation, except for on cards that say like each opponent or something like that, obviously, right? Because you only have one opponent in 1v1. But yeah, I think in general, it's just a lot of cards. You know, and I think it's easy for players to just say, well, that's just for commander. It's not going to be any good in standard. If it's not good in standard, it must be for commander. And it's just like, no, it's just a magic card, right? Technically, everything's a commander card, right? When we get down to it, there's just a lot of cards, and not everything can be top tier competitive or viable when there's, I don't know, 17 sets legal in standard. That's just the way it's going to be going forward, right? We're going to max out at, or whatever. I think it's 16 sets. I don't remember. It's a lot, but we're going to be maxing out going forward. The max we will have will be 18 sets, right? We get 6 a year for 3 years. Obviously, when we get to January, that'll reset a bit. We'll knock a year's worth of sets off and, you know, we'll kind of build back up. But it'll be interesting either way to see how things develop. I don't really know where standard's going to go, and I think next week we also have a ban announcement potentially. And this is the time of year where if they do like last year, they might drop the hammer on a few key pieces because they're like, hey, we don't have a rotation until January. Let's freshen stuff up. So actually, no, they did it in the fall last time. So we'll see. But maybe they just want to freshen stuff up and say, hey, maybe we want to make more room for more superheroes and Hobbit stuff and whatever, right? Until rotation. So you get like a fresh or fresher 6 months waiting on rotation to happen. You know? MTG creative combos played against a cool Merfolk deck. Yeah, I think Merfolk is actually pretty reasonable. I think it's gotten some key pieces over the last few sets that could definitely make it viable. Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand on the too many legends thing. I mean, Wizards has noted that it's an issue, or at least one that people complain about. I'm not sure how I feel about it for constructed play because if a card is really good, we're just playing 4 copies anyway, right? If it's key to like a combo or something. But if not, we just play like 2 of them because they're legendary or some such. And that doesn't bother me necessarily. I mean, in the case of like your 1 and 2 drops, it can be a little tough because you're like, well, I want to have this early, but then like drawing it late is kind of rough because I already have one on the battlefield, you know. But we'll see. Because while we do get a lot of legends, it's kind of only for half the sets, I guess, that come out because it's usually just going to be the Universe Beyond things that are overloaded with legends. And then we got the in-between sets that don't have as many legends. So I guess it kind of balances out in a way. Though I think when we get to the Hobbit will have a lot of, like, there will be the story characters, obviously, that will be legendary. But there's also going to be a lot of non-legends because there's just stuff in the stories and in the lands and villagers and whatever that will get cards. Like we saw with Lord of the Rings, right? The generic orcs just having cards or whatever. In something like a Marvel set, everything's based around the characters, right? The heroes versus the villains, and they're all named people. Even the individuals, you know, are the sidekicks or key characters from the person's background or something, right? They're all unique. And that's what makes it a little tough when you're doing those for sure. But I think also when we do Star Trek, it doesn't have to be all legends, right? Because we can have like Klingon warrior or Federation red shirt or you know whatever, right? And those can just be generic characters, which that'd be funny if we don't get a red shirt. Now I'm thinking about it. So I can see that just being a thing. I think it's just certain sets, and it's going to be an issue when you do Marvel stuff because we're going to have at least 2 more Marvel sets, if I understand right, from the way they've talked about it. So it's going to be a minute. And technically, if we're only going to do one stone per set, I guess we could say that there's going to be at least 5 more if that's the plan, unless they start putting like 2 per set or something. Uh Sender needs a legend rule breaker. I don't like the thing is when we have those, they don't really change stuff that much. Like we've had them before and they just don't end up being competitively relevant. I don't even remember if there's ever been a time where the cards with that rule have been competitively relevant, at least not for any significant stretch of time. So I don't think that really changes much. When is Rank Brawl? I thought it was today. I have no idea. I assumed it was going to be on today's update. So if not, it's got to be close. Witch Edge of Eternity had a couple more legends. Now, see, that's funny, right? There's the opposite, right? Where people want more legends in some cases. Might be fun to try an Avengers deck with just those. With just Avengers? Okay, maybe we could try that. Red shirt has to be Rakdos sack fodder. That's true. It could be. That would be a good spot for it. Yeah, true. Mirror Box was one of those legend rule breakers that didn't do anything. That's a good call. It really didn't. But yeah, there's the deck Swayze built with the life gain legends and Bree, which was OP. Here's the thing. And this isn't to take a shot at Swayze. I actually like Swayze. He's in one of my discords. So this isn't particular about him, and my deck's included. I tell people all the time during early access, whatever you see during early access, good or bad, take it with a grain of salt for 2 reasons. The biggest being that we're not playing against the most optimized decks, right? The goal of the event isn't to show you the best possible deck. It's to try to do the cool thing, to show how the cards work, stuff like that. I think some people hop in there trying to play like their mono black or mono red thing with like one new card in it and I don't know, get bragging rights that they beat certain creators or whatever. I don't know. It's a weird mentality. But the goal isn't really for that, right? A bunch of us aren't playing like graveyard removal spells or a bunch of enchantment removal stuff. Or we're just trying cool stuff, right? The other half of that is most of the decks we built, we don't know how all the cards work yet, right? We're the guinea pigs. We're putting stuff together, just gambling. A lot of the builds we play aren't going to be even remotely close to optimized. Like they'll all be better within a week or two's time from where they start. So there's some stuff that sucked that might turn out really good, and stuff that's good that ends up not even being relevant, right? And we've seen that before, where I remember going all the way back to Ikoria, right? Where I think was it Garuda, the black and blue companion or wherever. I can't remember, but that one was like dominating everything. Everybody's like, "Oh, this card's gonna be busted. It's gonna destroy standard." And then within like 2 weeks, you hardly even saw the card. And then by the end of that month, it wasn't even that impactful at all. So just that's the type of thing, right? Because people weren't used to playing against it. People didn't know the best lines of thought. Like once they get there, then it's like, oh, okay, well, everybody knows what to do with it. And there's some number of people that probably went and spent a bunch of money building it in paper, spent a bunch of resources building those decks, going like, oh, this is going to be the standard deck. I'm going to get this. This is going to be a thing. And then within 2 weeks, we're like, what's happening? I'm not winning as much anymore, So that's why I tell people, just kind of, it's the same way I tell people all the time about my videos. Don't look at whether something's winning or losing. Look at how something's winning or losing, right? That's the most important thing. Because there could be a bunch of reasons it's winning and there could be a bunch of reasons it's losing. And I think that's what more people need to do. Honestly, I think more people need to watch more content of decks failing than decks winning, because that will also save you a lot of time to see how all the interactions that don't work happen, right? Versus just, all right, this one wins. I got to watch you win like 6 games, whatever. I'm going to go build this deck. Like, okay, but then what? Right? Like, you're always chasing the dragon at that point. Not me, but the figurative drag. You know what I'm saying? uh let's see. Bring Scoot Swarm back. I don't know. Scoot Swarm, people love or hate that card. I don't know if we'll see that again. Somebody says, I fall asleep to your videos about a lot, something about your chill voice and you never tilt. Thanks for, you know what? It's funny. At multiple events, I have had couples come up and it's been weird. The first time it happened, it was weird because how did the wife word it? I'm trying to remember, but she basically said something to equivalent of, I'm so used to hearing your voice in my bed at night or something. And I was like, this is a weird conversation. But, they'll be in the bedroom. They'll put it on. I guess they have a TV in the bedroom and like she falls asleep and the dude's like finished watching the video or whatever. So apparently that's pretty common, which is cool because I recently started talking to people. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I eventually want to do voice acting for something. I just want a voiceover role. I think it'd be very cool. And it's one of the few things, because most of the time I don't really have a bucket list because if something comes up, I just go try to do it or find a way to do it. But I can't just like go do a voiceover role, right? There's like a whole process to get that. So I would like to do that at some point because people keep telling me they like my voice. So I don't know. Hey, Stella, morning for you. Um, I'm so ready to play Naya Enchantment's Control now that we got 3 different ones and all different drops, 3 to 5 drops. That's probably going to be a thing. There's a lot of ways you can build stuff. But all right. Okay. So we're starting to get a bunch of y'all rolling in here. So let's start. Let's everybody here. Let's do it like this. You get one statement. What type of either deck type, you could say like heroes or discard or whatever, or what specific card do you want to see? Like a certain Hulk or a certain Captain America. You don't do both. You get one or the other. You can either say you would like to see this deck type, like say Merfolk or something, or this particular card. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. I can see all the chats. I just kind of want to see what people are thinking that we should work on. So we have Just Guy Flip. I feel like a lot of people have tried some version of that. Tokens could be interesting. I don't know what new cards make tokens. I'd have to look. Avengers, I think, is a fun idea. Alien Invasion, I'll probably do something with that. I'll probably build a couple of decks with Alien Invasion, to be honest. I think that card's like, obviously we built a lot with Urbrass Forge, though Forge was a little weird because I think the token went away at the end of turn, but it did have like trample and stuff, so not quite the same card, and it costs less to cast, so that was a big factor. Mono Black Control. Well, see, you just did 2 things. Mono Black Control and Discard are 2 different decks. You already messed up. Anno says, I'm just happy because I have Spider-Man set in Arena now. Yeah, that's true. If you like Spider-Man, that is a thing that's available now. Naya token enchantment control feels like you're asking for a lot of things. +1/+1 counters. There we go. Alien Invasion with Kin Binding and Elspeth. Hey, we'll just stick with Alien Invasion. We'll call that the card you're picking there. All right, so this is like I kind of like the Avengers idea. Like, are there enough Avengers in this set that we could make an actual Avengers deck work? I don't know that we can. You know what? Let's see. I have no clue if it's possible. It's a neat idea, though. This is going to be for standard. I wish there was, did they code them so there's like an Avengers thing? I doubt it. That would be awesome if they did. No, they didn't. All right. Well, I'm going to at least put in hero because all the Avengers, I think, are heroes. Unless there's a weird one that also got like the villain type. Oh, I did that wrong. They're just hero, not heroes plural. That makes sense. Mono Black Discard. Here's the real thing. Being 100% honest, I've been bringing this up in videos for the last, I don't know, feels like 6 to 9 months. We keep running into discard decks, but they, even when I just test stuff, there's no good discard builds in standard, as far as I know. And we've played against so many different ones, and we've won so many times, even when we've had bad draws, when we played aggro decks, when we played controlling type decks. I don't even know what they beat right now. I don't even know what the secret is that they're missing. Maybe it's like Baron Zemo, right? That After you've done all the discarding. Well, no, because in your graveyard it's just discard cards, but they don't have a hand. So maybe that doesn't do anything either. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be something though. Like, there's bound to be something. It would be really flavorful deck if it worked. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Nick Fury, obviously an Avenger, right? So we'll put that over there. Does Agent Coulson count as an Avenger? He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he was on the Avengers first movie, right? Before he got shot or whatever. Like, am I remembering that right? So, like, technically he's an Avenger? I'll put him there for now. I think he's like an honorary Avenger. I don't think he really counts. She-Hulk's not really an Avenger. Colin Wing's not. Peter Parker, technically not an Avenger, but kinda is if you count the movies. Right? Like, hey, thanks for the follow, by the way. Why is my thing okay? There, I thought I was off center for a second. He's an administrator. That's fair. He might not count. He might not be an Avenger. I think that's a real conversation to have. Like, he has contact with all the Avengers, but maybe he himself is not an Avenger. I don't remember how they classified him, truthfully. We'll go non-Avenger for now. I'm gonna say Spider-Man is an Avenger because even in the comics, he has. Spider-Man's even been, I think, a member of the Fantastic Four for a minute. So he's kind of been all over the place. So I'm gonna say Spider-Man does get in. Spectacular Spider-Man probably being even better as an option. Obviously, Captain America is an Avenger. I guess this Captain America also an Avenger. Monica Rambeau was in an Avengers movie, but not an Avenger, I don't believe. Quake, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not necessarily an Avenger. Plus, we are using the comics universe, not the movie universe. So I think it's fair to say, not an Avenger. Another Spider-Man, but I don't think we're playing this one. Luke Cage was an Avenger. I don't think we're playing Luke Cage. I don't think it really makes sense. But technically was an Avenger. The two Captain Marvel or Captain Marvel. Like, did this ever bother anybody else when you were younger and reading comics? Having Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel? Like, really makes me wonder, like, why did that ever happen in Marvel? Like, I never asked the question. I never did a deep dive why that was a thing. But I remember thinking it was very weird as a kid that you would want two characters with such similar names. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, there's no world where I think any of us really, like, you could have named them anything else. Like, why did they get similar names? Like, I don't blame WotC because I mean that's just the DC or the Marvel universe. It just is what it is. Miss Marvel's not really an Avenger. Black Widow is. I don't know if we're gonna be playing Black and being able to make use of that, but she definitely is. Gwen Stacy is not. Hawkeye definitely is. Nope. Speed, Young Avenger. Technically, Young Avenger, not regular Avengers. That's all we're aiming for here. There's no copyrights and trademarks. They own all the characters. They could literally just name it anything else and it would be copyrighted. You don't have to name them the same. Like, it's very weird. Can't run two different same names like that, make a different name. Yeah, I just don't really understand. It made no sense to me. Though I did see somewhere that I guess they're bringing back some of the Netflix shows with like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and stuff. I don't know if that's true, but I meant to look into that, never did. Wonder Man is a West Coast Avenger, but not a regular Avenger. The other Hawkeye, which is the Young Avenger, not probably going to make the cut here. Scarlet Witch probably also not making the cut. Miles Morales, not an Avenger, though he is a Spider-Man. Squirrel Girl, not an Avenger. Spider-Man is, but I don't think we're playing this version. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, y'all. We might not have enough Avengers. There's the other Captain America. I think Black Panther was an Avenger temporarily for a while, but I don't think he's a full-time Avenger. Mighty Thor, technically, but I don't think Jane Foster was ever an Avenger. Though, crazy story. Like, she ended up wielding the hammer and stuff just to, like, push off cancer from eating her or whatever at some point. So that was kind of a sad story. Though it is weird that they list her as a cancer survivor when technically I'm pretty sure she died but then came back. So I don't know if that really counts. Telling us Avengers aren't going to assemble her? Yeah, they might not, actually. Because I'm sitting here looking, and I don't think we have enough pieces to do strictly just the Avengers. Like, don't get me wrong, they exist, but, like, Daredevil's not really Avenger. Wolverine, I think, temporarily was an Avenger once upon a time, but not really an Avenger. Hulk obviously is, but the Hulks aren't particularly great. The other Black Panther is all right. Yeah, I don't know if we could do this. I don't think we can do just Avengers. There's Vision. Like, but I don't think that's going to get us there. I don't think there's a world where, I mean, if we fleshed all these out, like Hawkeye, Captain America's, those are good. Nick Fury's fine. The Spider-Mans are good, especially Spectacular Spider-Man. I mean, we could do it. I just don't know if it'd be that impressive. Red, white, and blue Captain America deck? Probably. The weird thing is, like, I was playing with this Captain America during early access, and it didn't feel that great, actually. Like, I thought it was going to be better than it was, and it was just, like, okay. Like, the other Captain, like, this one was a baller. Like, 3/2 first strike for 3, and it gets a shield counter, and you can give your other stuff hexproof. Like, what? Like, this card was great. And then this one I saw used, and it was actually all right, too. I think, honestly, just having first strikes, such a big deal. While this one does have vigilance and technically gives your stuff, like, pseudo-vigilance, it's kind of nice, and I like the size. It just didn't seem to compare to the other two. Like, if you had some ability that was letting you tap for something, and then you got to untap, and then reuse the ability, that could be kind of cool. But I couldn't think of anything that would work. That's true. Ant-Man is an Avenger. That is true. Is the screen strobing in the game? I don't see any strobing. Like, I didn't see anything, so it might be on your end. That's true. Wolverine was during the 2010s. He did ride with the Avengers. That is true. I think the problem, like, here's the thing. I think, obviously, if we did it, you would do Nick Fury's. I'll have to spend some mod cards or whatever. And then some number of Peter Parkers. Probably a full set of Spectacular Spider-Mans. Black Widow, when she deals damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card, and you may put a +1/+1 counter on Black Widow. If you don't, you can cast the exiled non-land card until the turn, spend any mana. I mean, it's kind of a sweet card. I would play a couple copies. I think Hawkeye's obviously good. I don't think there's any questions. Captain America, obviously good. The other Captain America, it at least flies. You don't have a lot of flying creatures. So I like that. I don't even think we play the 3 mana cap at all. This Black Widow, I mean, you give something first strike of attack. We're just going to be attacking with more stuff. I don't think that's really going to work out. Do I do lives as well? Every once in a while. I do lives as they make sense, basically. I don't have them on a regular schedule. It's mostly like right now, new set came out. It'd be fun to just do some stuff with the chat and talk about new cards and whatever and chill for a bit. So that's what we're doing. It makes sense today. During early access, obviously, we're showing off new cards, so I stream and we do that. But it's not like a regular thing, I would say. Could be more regular, though, if people really want to chill out on a daily basis and watch some streams. Also, when I do them, I try to do them at different times because I do have a lot of viewers from like Germany and things like that, so, and Australia. So I try to rotate the schedule when I do stream. So sometimes late night for me is like, you know, they're getting off work or whatever. So kind of rotate it so everybody gets a chance at it. Have to stick to a certain timeline of Avengers and go with that? Yeah, sure, because otherwise everybody's been an Avenger or a member of the Fantastic Four, right? You can include so many random characters. Can't see the entirety of his shirt, but it looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, this was from, I don't know, MagicCon Chicago last year. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know. Like, I do kind of like this Black Panther though. Whenever you play a creature, you get a creature, or your other stuff gets +1/+1 till end of turn. It is a 4/4 body, and we don't have a lot of big stuff. Probably wouldn't play Hulk, I don't think, because it's just a 6/5 trampler. Oh, what was that? Somebody came through. Nice. Thank you for that. What am I doing here? Here we go. I think Vision probably doesn't work here either, right? Because you have to play a non-creature spell. Yeah, we're gonna have too many creatures, so we're probably not playing Avenger. I guess we could try to squeeze in Wolverine. He's at least like a removal spell of sorts. Kinda, sorta. Like, not great, but he kind of does something. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna cut it. And we'd have 9 or 10 cards to put useful spells in, I guess, if you want to call them that, like removal spells, maybe a planeswalker if you want to, something else that saves creatures. Or maybe there's some of these other Spider-Mans that are worth considering. I think no, probably not. Though I do like this one. Let's like let you put a counter on things and get you access to more cards, because we don't really have a way to draw extra cards except for Hawkeye. Though technically Black Widow might sometimes get us access to cards, which isn't bad. I'm also a little bit concerned because I expect we're going to see a lot of Avengers disassembled. And that's going to be really bad for this deck unless you have open mana for a Spectacular Spider-Man, which kind of sucks. Because while Captain America keeps things from being targeted, they can still take 2 damage. The original comic Avengers are Thor, Ant-Man, Wasp, Hulk, Cap. Yeah, for sure. It's just over the years we've had a lot of other Avengers. Actually, do we have wait. Oh, we have Tony Stark's, but I don't think we have like a good Iron Man in this set. Yeah, we didn't get just Iron Man. We got Tony Stark on cards, and then we got like Iron Lad and Iron Heart or whatever. War Machine. Does this even do anything? At the beginning of your turn, another target creature control gets +X/+0, where X is War Machine's power. Yeah, that sounds not great. What if we do... Oh, Avengers Assemble, though, is like 5 mana, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lot. It's a really cool card, but it costs a lot. Yeah. Tony Stark. Do I not have them yet? I maybe not have opened any. Yeah, there you go. Turns into the invincible Iron Man. Look at top 4. The problem is the ability only works if you're playing a bunch of artifacts, though, you know? Like, otherwise, you're like, you just get a 5/5 for 6 mana, which is like, meh. You know, it's not super exciting. The thing is, you don't really need to do Leyline Vivid stuff. Like, we have enough lands where you just, like, choose a creature type. You have Avengers Tower, you know, whatever, right? You have Cavernous Souls. The other one where you choose a creature type, which we just choose hero. You have Multiversal Passage, Starting Town. Like I said, Avengers Tower. Like, you have all the mana, right? So the colors aren't really an issue. We could play whatever we want. So, like, I don't think that's a big deal. That's true. There are some things in Jumpstart that aren't in Standard, so that can be a little confusing. All right, so we played 2 Avengers Assemble. Is there any? Are there any creatures? Are there heroes? Hold on. I haven't done this yet. Type hero and then add mana? I don't think we got a hero that just adds mana, do we? Oh, never mind. We got Shang-Chi, but this is only to activate creature abilities, which doesn't really do anything in this deck. I mean, I guess technically you could transform a couple of things. And then this guy makes mana, but he costs 5. Which is so wild that Doc Samson costs so much. But we're just building an Avengers deck. Not really a theme of any kind. It was just are there enough Avengers to make a thing work? But realistically, even if we put 9 spots for other stuff, whether those stuff are lightning helixes, like here's the problem actually. You can't really do something efficiently like lightning helix because you need the multi-lands, and the multi-lands aren't going to allow you to cast non-creature spells. So if you do, you probably have to decide to say, okay, we're just going to make them white, so we only need 1 white mana to play erodes, get lost, you know, that type of stuff. And that's probably the selection of cards you have to go with. I don't think there's really anything else we can do there. Hey, Christmas, how's it going? That might just be it. Yeah, Shang-Chi's neat, but I don't think it really fits in here because we're not really going to have a lot of activated abilities that make any sense. Yeah, not just heroes. We're looking. The idea of the chat was, can we build an actual Avengers deck? And I don't know. Like, we can. How playable is it, I think, is a different story. Were there any others that had haste? That's the other thing. No, not that we're actual Avengers. It doesn't look like. I mean, Daredevil, but he's not. I mean, again, he's a guy who has been an Avenger like so many other characters, but he's not really an Avenger. Like Winnowing, you know, Winnowing, that's an interesting call. I don't hate that. Like, I don't know, because Winnowing's good if we're going against other creature decks, right? But I don't know if other creature decks are the real problem. Because I feel like creature-wise, our creatures will be mostly fine. Maybe. Like I say that, but now I'm double checking everything. Maybe not. I have no idea. So yeah, it's a tough one. I think doing heroes obviously is easier, but I don't know if we can get away with just Avengers looking at it. But let's say we decided to play Get Lost, right? And just keep all our removal in white. And maybe we split between a Road and Seamrip. And then that's already 60. Crap ton of creatures, though. We're 20. It's actually not as many as I thought. We only have 26 creatures. I say only 26 creatures, but we only have 26. So it's actually still a fine number. It gives us 8 removal spells. Technically, we could do some fun stuff to go find things with Nick Fury, but we don't have... I guess the other problem, too, by just doing Avengers is you don't really have the Nick Fury payoffs, right? Because you want to use Nick Fury to be able to go get something like a big Hulk or something, or She-Hulk. But we don't really have that. Like right now, the best thing we could do is get a Peter Parker and just play this. You know what I mean? I mean, Nick Fury is still a 2-1 for 1, so it's not like he's a bad card to have or anything. But I'm just looking and realizing we don't have anything else for the payoff. That's kind of just it. And there is a world, too, where if we're going up, let's say we don't get our removal spells early, playing against something like Mono Green or something could be difficult. Because, I mean, unless you get like a Hawkeye Black Widow situation where you can like tap a creature or keep a creature from blocking and, you know, maybe manipulate things that way, could get very tough. Yeah, Avengers Disassemble is the scariest card for this deck. Like, you almost always have to leave mana up for Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, it sucks, but I just think that's the situation you're going to be in. Like, shouldn't you be able to use the Avenger stuff too? Like the flavorful goes with it things? Fair, maybe. Let's see. Banner of Kinship or Chronicles of Victory? Chronicles of Victory and Banner of Kinship, they're both a little expensive. Like, at that point, we're better off just still playing the Avengers Assemble, right? Because everybody just gets +2 and then we're getting free cards. Like, I think this is still the best option. It's just really slow. And we don't have a way to stick it before turn 5. Right? If we had anything that made us an extra mana or 2, and we had a world where maybe we could play this on turn 4. Like, if we were doing regular heroes, maybe there's a world where you could do some green ramp stuff and play some of the green heroes and work your way into an Avengers Assemble, and that might be a thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Thor does anything in this deck. Because Thor wants you to play non-creature spells. And all of our non-creature spells are just 1 or 2 mana. Everything else is a body. So we wouldn't really, I mean, it's a 5/5 flyer. I mean, that's nothing to turn your nose up at. But that's kind of all we're getting from it. That's true. The Uncanny Avengers. There's a lot of random Avengers. Like, at some point, it's like Spider-Man, where there was like 8 different versions of Spider-Man books. It scales up against Avengers Assemble. That's true. Should we be playing Practice Offense? I think Practice Offense is a great card. We could totally play it. Personally, I think that's the best aggro card that's probably been made in years. Truthfully, that card's ridiculous. I think the issue is, do we want to say maybe Avengers Assemble's too slow? Don't know if it is or not, but let's say we just make that statement. It costs 5 mana. We don't have a way to play it quickly. We cut that. We cut 1 get loss, because you don't want to cut too many creatures if you're planning on playing Practiced Offense. And then we just go a full set of those and say, like, that's our way to try to win, is just get in there with Practice Offense. Like, that, it's an option, you know. It's like, it's a way to get extra damage in. You could also do something cranky like Black Widow Double Strike if you want extra counters or something. Get extra cards from your opponent, which could be funny. But I guess I need lands that choose a type. So a couple of Cavernous Souls, Multiversal Passages, Secluded Courtyards, Avenger Assemble. Though Avenger Assemble technically gets you, or Avengers Tower technically gets you cards, right? Look at the top 3 of your library. Yeah, reveal a hero. So, like, we can get other stuff. And then the rest of the lands have to be like multi-lands and stuff, right? You need to keep some number of basics, because there are things that are destroying your lands and making you go search or whatever. Not worried about the non-white lands so much, because all the other things that aren't white are creatures. So all these lands should be able to cast them, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. I think we're okay with that, but obviously we'll play some number of multi-lands. But I'm not going to play the other basics, because there's just not a need to, really. Let's see. I was thinking about, do we really want Starting Town, but I don't think we need it, actually. So let's try the pay to lifeland. Which one is that? The Sacred Foundry. That's what I was looking for. We could play 3 Foundry. We don't really, I mean, we only have 2 black cards. And we have 6 red cards and 5 green ones. So we really don't need a lot of any of this, to be honest. It's all kind of fine. I guess we could play like 2 Temple Garden and 2 Godless Shrine. Maybe even just 1 Godless Shrine. I don't even think we need to do more than that, actually. Because Foundry is going to be more important, but these only really matter if we only have a Plains. If we have any of these others, then the Shocklands don't even really matter at that point. Are there any creature lands we should be considering playing? The downside, though, is they would take a bit to activate, because we wouldn't have that many colored mana. Air Temple, there's an argument to be made for Air Temple. I mean, we could play 1 of. I don't hate that. It's another to help our small creatures out. I mean, it's almost always going to be tapped, but none of our other lands really will be, so I think we could accept that concession. I'm fine with it. Origin of Avengers. That's the one that lets you put a creature into play for free. I think that's what that is. Yeah. So you scry to put a creature of mana value 3 or less from your hand on the battlefield. If you don't, you draw a card, then you put a +1/+1 counter each creature you control. I don't know how I feel about this card. Because, like, you're taking a turn off to get to play 2 creatures on turn 3. Or at least, hopefully, because you scried and, you know, you're hoping to get 2 things on the battlefield turn 3. Then you put counters on things. Like, it feel like none of the parts on this feel bad, and it's costed very well. I just feel like when I saw people playing it, it didn't feel like it was doing much each time. And again, small sample size because it's early access, so I could be completely wrong about this. Would Clive's Hideaway fit? I don't think so. But, like, Origins of the Vendor, it makes sense. I don't hate the card. I just don't know where we'd put it, because you do reach the point where at 26 creatures, we start scaling back to where then it's like, do we have enough creatures to justify this card? Though it does scry, so it helps you find creatures, right? So that's the other part of that argument. But we also have a lot of 2-mana things, right? Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man. Though technically, Spectacular Spider-Man in this deck's probably a 3-mana spell that you're leaving up to try to protect your creatures. Black Widow and Hawkeye all at 2 mana. But we could maybe cut a Peter Parker, cut one of the Captain Americas, maybe the Wings of Freedom, and then try that. I mean, we're down to 24 creatures at that point, though, and I don't think we could cut anything else. Like, at that point, I'm almost wanting to cut a Get Lost, but I don't know. Maybe we really need to just cut, like, a Black Panther or a Wolverine at that stage of things. Or practice offense, just run 3, but that seems crazy. But maybe that is the right answer. And then go back up on Peter Parker. Putting a creature in, here's the thing though, right? Putting a creature in on 3 and then leaving mana up for Spectacular Spider-Man, is that significantly better than just playing a thing on 2 and being able to attack on 3, especially with like Black Widow and Hawkeye, and then just leaving the same mana up for Spectacular Spider-Man, right? That's the thing. Like, if the first part of this was put a creature on the battlefield, even if it was just like for free, like 2 or better, so you don't lose your tempo, and then the second chapter was Scry, I would love it so much more. Obviously, most people would, right? So it's a very interesting card, how it's designed. And it's maybe that way purposely. 4 practice offense is excessive? Yeah, because we want to draw them. Practice offense is a stupid Magic card. It is really, really good. But yeah, if we want to go down to 3, that's fine. I don't think we're hurting things one way or the other, and go up and back to 3 Peter Parker. Because Peter Parker does make you 2 bodies, right? Even if you just chump with Peter Parker and you keep the spider, that's fine. And the spider has reach, and that actually works against stuff like Slick Shot and whatever, since we don't have a bunch of flyers. But we at least have reach between that, Hawkeye, and then the actual flying Captain America, which is also cool. So, one of those things. Yeah, Origins Avengers is creature card 3 or less, not just cast a spell 3 or less. Let's see, you can... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can try it. I can craft all these and just see. We'll just give it a go and see if Avengers do anything. I'm just trying to think. We put 2 counters on Nick Fury when we activate this. Then we look at the top 7. You can put a hero, equipment, or vehicle, where it's only going to be a hero in this deck. And if it's double face turn, so right now that's only Peter Parker. Let me do a quick bit on Transform just to see if there's somebody we missed. Because obviously Jennifer Walters, but, you know, kind of an Avenger. I don't know if she really makes the cut. Bruce Banner, obviously, but I don't know how much we care about the front side of this. Though getting a Hulk is nice. Tony Stark, the backside doesn't do anything for us. Then there's like Norman Osborn, wasn't really an Avenger, obviously. Was like the anti-Avenger, really. Yeah, Gwen Stacy, not an Avenger. Ashling, obviously not, doesn't even fit. Yeah, all the others, I don't think we could stretch to qualify for this particular build. Though, man, I have so many people hating on me because I put T'Challa in the currently don't craft list. But I have yet to see this card really ball out in standard. And I don't think it's like I said in the video, I think I want this card to be good. It has all the words I could make an aggro repile very interesting if this is a thing. But so far, every time I saw it, it just did not look great. Definitely still good for older formats, though. I don't think that's a question. Like this card, this would be great to play. It's not a hero by any stretch. But man, given all your legendaries +2/+2, I'm definitely going to do that at some point in the future. Stream went down. My stream's still showing live. Did it go down on Facebook maybe? Hold on. No. It's still showing live on Facebook for me. And it's live on YouTube and it's live on Twitch. And my streaming setup's still showing everything. Yeah, we're still up. I don't see anything that says we're down. Hey, Akadio, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, everybody's saying we're still up. I think it's on your side, Paul. Yeah, because I'm monitoring everything as we go. Everything looks like it's still working. So. If he's only one cost, if only he costs one less, like Fairy Mastermind, and it was a 2/2. Yeah, that's the thing, right? There's some stuff that's costed in just a way that makes you not want to play it, which is tough. But all right. I mean, here's the other thing too, y'all. Because we're playing Avengers, don't we have to play one Avengers Assemble just on principle? Because it'd be weird not to, you know? So let's do that. I mean, I'm cutting a creature again, though. That puts us down to 24. But I think we should. Just because. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe we never get to it. But whatever. We're going to do it. I think we have to. We have to do it just because. Pet Avengers is also hilarious. Am I going to do content on Brawl now? Not likely. Mostly because the Brawl videos don't draw well. Generally speaking. I think there's a couple of content creators that have made their bones on Brawl, and they're the places people go to watch Brawl. And nothing wrong with that. Good for them, truthfully. Somebody should own that space. So I'm glad there's quality creators making stuff. Namely, Amy the Amazonian has done a lot for that format, truthfully. But when I do Brawl, it's once every so often, I'll just do one. Maybe once in the middle of a season just to change stuff up. But I don't expect quality views from it. I'm just doing it to have something different because somebody showed me a cool idea or whatever. Because here's the other idea. The other reality is, it takes way too long to make a Brawl deck when it's not my main content, right? Anytime I spend doing that, I'm taking away from all the other time I'm testing and looking up and building standard decks, which is where the bulk of my views and revenue come from. So it makes more sense to dedicate to that. It's the same reason I don't do a lot of draft videos, right? I told people before, if you look at my account, I have 32 draft tokens, 2 seal tokens, 9 jump in tokens just sitting here. And if my audience was cool with me doing draft videos where we draft, we talk about the draft, why we're taking cards, maybe even put together a couple decks we can build, but then no gameplay, then great. I would make those videos. But people that like draft also want to see the games play out, which I get. If they're in the draft, makes sense. But that time's spent playing draft games that tend to be longer and slower is taking time away from other stuff when I'm not gaining anything information-wise from playing those draft games, right? So that's the only reason I haven't done that. So it's not that I don't like the other formats. I think they're fun and they're interesting, and I think it's good that they exist. It just doesn't make sense for my processes if they're not going to draw views, is the biggest deal. Wish their Brawl was more than 1v1. I don't know that True Commander could work in Arena. They are working on it. I know that for a fact, and they've mentioned it even in recent reports that it's, you know, in their timeline or their roadmap. How far along they are, I don't know. You know, does that require a whole new UI? Does it, I don't know, do we get a screen that we can slide back and forth to look at everybody's battlefields? Like I have no clue. But they're obviously figuring that out. Felt that Brawl take I was on was one who asked you about the Brawl before. Oh, understand. Do I play more Brawl in person? I don't know anybody that plays Brawl in person. Brawl is mostly just an arena format, to my knowledge. Everybody else that plays in person are either playing Commander or Oathbreaker, if they want to play a 100-card format, right? I don't know anybody that plays Brawl in person. It's just not a thing. Two-headed giant? Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? If you get Commander and we can see multiple battlefields and we can play 4 players, then you can probably add two-headed giant. So that's probably like the next step, right? You just have to get a UI that works. Yeah, and that's the other question too, right? If we do get Commander on Arena, does Brawl go away? And I don't mean like Wizards gets rid of it, but does it just start getting so little play because everybody can just play Commander now? They could play 4 people. And that's a concern, right? I imagine that's probably even concern for some of the Brawl creators, right? Because at some point, people are just going to go like, oh, well, I could just play regular Commander. Why am I worried about Brawl, right? I'll just go play with 3 people instead of 1. And that just makes sense. So I don't really know. There's recently gotten to Magic and I haven't played actual Magic in person, so I don't know the terms. Yeah. Commander is just the 100-card version of Brawl that you play with multiple people. Oathbreaker is the same as Commander, but you get an additional spell. There's some special rules. You get a spell you could recast that has the same Commander rules as your Commander. It's a whole thing. But yeah, mostly people are playing regular Commander. The alternate format is Oathbreaker, mostly pushed by a group called Magic Kids. It does a bunch of charity stuff and whatever. But that's pretty much it. There's not really much difference. Brawl is just 1v1. Commander is against up to 3 people, or as many people as you want, really, but generally up to 3 people. But yeah, I do wonder that, though, right? If we get Commander on Arena, what does that do to the Brawl community? Because there are a fair amount of people, I imagine, and I don't know this to be true, I'm just making an assumption, that are playing Brawl because Commander's not available, right? They might play Commander in paper, and Brawl's the closest thing they get on Arena, so they're just playing that because they like singleton 100-card formats. But once they can, do people stop playing Brawl? You know, I don't really know. Well, Brawl is already 1v1 Commander, you know, as it stands. But I would imagine if you get Commander in Arena, you would just get to set how many opponents you want. And you just tag your friend if you just want to play 1v1, you know? You only play Brawl, I don't play Standard? Yeah, but you could still play Commander or play 1v1 Commander, which is still just Brawl, right? If you wanted to. I don't think that's ever going to completely go away. It just looks different is all. But all right, let me craft all these and see if we can even turn this into a pile of something. I don't know that we can, but let's find out. Let's craft all these things. I don't even know how many. I have 9 mythics and 21 rares left. And we're probably still going to be on for another hour at least. And then I have to go record a show. Might play again some later this evening, but let's go hop into some games. I'm going to hop into the play queue first with this, just to see if we're even wasting our time or not. Oh, weird. It was automatically going to put me in the standard play queue. But I've only been playing. Has anybody else had that happen? I had it happen recently where I was going to go record a video and for some reason it opened in the play queue instead of, and I know the last couple of games I played previously were ranked because I recorded another video previously. But I guess after I shut Arena down and opened it, it opened in the standard play queue. And I don't know why that happens. It's a very weird thing. I would assume it would just remember the last format you played. I think drafting for the box would be major, and I think MTG is using Brawl to create a more solid commander. EDH has so much mess with house rules. Brawl being ranked is going to take over. I don't think there are a lot of mess in commander, honestly. We just sit down and say, hey, I'm playing a 3, great, and then we play. I just did it at the whole cookout this weekend in LA. Not a single person had mess or confusion over the games they wanted to play. It's fairly easy. Pota goes first. Yeah, we keep this. Uh-oh. Well, we're not doing anything anyway. We just have 2 Spider-Mans and an Origin of the Avengers. All right, opponent. What you doing? Grand. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing next turn. Wanted to do something else. Who brings this? Man, if this just ends up being straight up lessons, like who's bringing lessons into the play queue? Some of y'all are monsters out here in this world. Let's just play that. Like, I see some of y'all in the play queue rolling in with like crazy. Yeah, okay, sure. All right. Do we even want to bother to keep playing this mess? Like, what are we doing? This isn't even fun to watch. I do it when I'm making competitive stuff or whatever for videos, but like when I'm just testing stuff and goofing around, I don't want to play it back against this garbage. What do we even do here? Because whatever we play is just going to get removed right now, right? So let's just go Origin of Avengers. Oh my gosh, we drew all the Spider-Mans. Nick Fury doesn't really do anything here, though. All right. All right, let's go find another game. This isn't even going to be fun for y'all to watch. There's going to be almost no interaction. It's just going to be me playing around removal spells. Let's go find, like, a real interactive pile. Been the first month of playing Magic. Well, welcome. The rabbit hole goes deep. Yeah, I would say this. I think if you have a lot of mess in playing Commander, it's probably the people you're playing with. Because I was at an event over the weekend with like 70 people for 2 days, and not once did anybody have confusion at the table. I mean, pretty much everybody's playing a 2, a 3, or a 4, but everybody was pretty upfront and straightforward about it and had no issues. You know? I just hope Commander comes to Arena, not to a separate client. I don't think that would happen. That would, like, I could see them making a whole new client, like a new Arena updated client, but I don't think they would just make a separate one just for Commander. That seems weird. Is this the same opponent? No. Their name was similar. Yeah, we're doing nothing with this. Hey, there you go. I can't really block that, unfortunately. So let's just do this. Man, Black Widow's going to cook if it gets to hit it. Well, it's going to get to hit us at least once. I mean, I guess I could double block, but I don't think they're going to allow that. But man, our cards are probably pretty good for them, I would imagine. Okay, at least they can't cast a thing now. They'll get a free counter, though, which makes it harder to block in the future. Dang it, what if I wanted a Captain America? I mean, I already have one in hand, but still. Yeah, lots of people have been picking up Magic from other games. I've been running into a lot of folks, especially from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I found very interesting. What are we doing? We just playing Captain America? I think so. I think that's the safest card to play here. Does this make other heroes? Oh, not other creatures, just other heroes. Gosh, dang it. Well, we're going to get hit by Black Widow at least once. Assuming they have another removal spell, because they'll come after. Oh, they don't. Well, that's nice of them. That entirely changes things. All right. We do have first strike with Hawkeye. But I kind of want to leave up Spectacular Spider-Man just in case. Because people have been doing some weird things. Attacking's actually not worth it. We're better off keeping them from attacking. As silly as that sounds. They might also just play Doom or something in another turn. Oh, see, there you go. Somebody else that came from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's funny. I think the biggest thing is people just talk about the communities being so different, you know. Uh-oh, opponent's looking to try to get rid of our Captain America. Captain America again, everybody hex-proof. Go, Cap, go. Baron Strucker makes villains cost less, and when a villain enters, you connive. All right. That's a thing that happened. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flash this in because it's safe. It's protected by Cap at the moment. Ooh, a backup Cap's actually kind of funny. What if... I guess I could... I don't even know if it matters what color I put this on. Not really. As long as I leave one mana open, we're good. But I kind of could attack with Cap and play another Cap. The problem is there would be a small window where they could target something. And we would have to risk blowing up our Spectacular Spider-Man, which probably isn't worth it. So let's just play a Black Panther here. And say go. And then we'll start working on doing other things. Is this only as a sorcery? It's not. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, we can do that during their end step too. Then we can start going a little bit nuts. I think we have things locked up just because Cap and Spectacular Spider-Man are going to be protecting the board for a minute. At least for most sweepers. They could have, you know, Day of Black Sun or something. And then that just steals all abilities because that card's super good. Connive. Too evil to stay dead. All right. There's always some version of that card. Okay. Oh, well, now we got another Spider-Man. That could also change some options. But I'm going to go ahead and attack with this here Black Panther. See if you want to give up one of your creatures. I would be okay with it. Because at some point, we got to move the game forward. Oh, they're just taking it. All right. Sounds good. End the turn. I don't even hate this hand, because even if they did have Day of Black Sun, just flashing in Spectacular Spider-Man, then dropping the other two creatures is actually reasonable. I think that's more than fine. There's Dr. Doom. I knew he was going to be there somewhere. This also lets them trigger Doom Reign Supreme, which is hilarious. So we're probably going to get wrecked. Fortunately, we have all small things, except for Wolverine. And they get to pick 2 cards from us to play. Yep. Did they not get to... Oh, that's at the upkeep, I guess. Oh, it does have a 5th counter. I thought it was 4 for some reason. Well, you know, got to pay attention to new cards, I guess. All right, find me something, Nick Fury. Ooh, Wolverine, good call. Wolverine will eat a Black Widow, I guess. Make a soldier. I mean, of course, we eventually have to eat the robots or else we can't punch through, but, you know, that's a problem for future us. Get bonuses, team. Get bonuses. Let's go attacking with Wolverine. Black Panther. Nick Fury now is a 5/4. Cap is a 4 first striker. Yeah, I think all this is just getting in there, right? And leaving Spectacular Spider-Man back looks like, okay, like maybe we'll do the thing just to make sure if we have to sacrifice it and save ourselves. Let's try to figure out like if there's a way we could better do this, but they're taking a bunch of damage already. Do I want to save Nick Fury? I guess is the real question. I think I do, since I have another Spectacular Spider-Man. And then we'll give everybody an extra +1 with Black Panther. I mean, we're not going to kill Dr. Doom anyway because he has indestructible because there's Doom bots, but that's fine. Kill the Doom bot. All right. I mean, they still get to play something from us, right? That's still an option from the Doom Reign Supreme. So they're not dead by any stretch yet. Can't wait to get off work and draft. I feel you. Anytime we get to leave work and play more cards, always a good time. Did they not get nothing from us? What happened? The only thing I can think of is maybe they just saw all lands. Because like they should have got something. And you don't have to pay life or anything, right? It's just cast up to 2. Yeah. Well, that was weird. Because I was like, all right, they probably find 2 creatures. They block some things. We have to find a way to put through a couple more points. But I would just played Captain America and then triggered Hawkeye. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that was just weird. The universe of Beyond is how Magic broke your mainstream via the Final Fantasy releases. Yeah, for sure. It creates a lot of conversation and gets it in front of places, right? Like Magic wouldn't have been at Disneyland and Disney World this weekend if they weren't doing a crossover with Marvel products, right? They probably wouldn't have done the big thing with Box Lunch and had all the cool Avatar stuff for sale and the promos in the stores if they didn't do the thing with Avatar, right? They got other Magic things in there as part of the promotion, but you probably don't get it otherwise, right? So it is getting a lot of exposure and opening doors and getting a lot of other people that just wouldn't get without that, you know, whether we like it or not. All right, we'll try one more, and if we have time, we'll hop into it. We'll try to put another deck together. Yeah, plus anybody that complains about Magic's ban list, like Yu-Gi-Oh's rotates like every 6 months or something. And stuff just goes from being banned, limited, blah, blah, whatever. It's all over the place. Yeah, we'll go first. We'll keep this. I never tried clicking on some of the stuff in here. Does anything in this environment do anything? I don't think it does. Can't turn the lights on or off. Nope. They make fun little sounds, but that's about it. Oh, one of the maps, I can't remember. There was something recently I discovered that surprised me. I wish I remember what it was. Yeah, I'll just take 2. Why not? Here comes a Nick Fury. I think the weirdest part about this deck is when you have the as I speak of it, when you have the Spectacular Spider-Man, it's kind of deciding when or how you can leave mana up to justify trying to protect your board. You know what's weird? They made Hawkeye's arrows land on Hawkeye's card. Like, wouldn't it be better if he just made like a row of arrows in front of him or something? It's weird that he's targeting himself, in a sense. Is Day of Judgment in our future? Maybe. We'll just attack. Decline all activations. In the turn. And then if they land Day of Judgment, we'll play Spectacular Spider-Man. Because that might be what's about to happen. Because there are monsters in the play queue. No, Unholy Annex. Alright, that's cool. Not what I was planning to do. But this works. Alright, Multiversal Passage. Give this double strike. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. And still a bit far away. I don't need to play this untapped. So I'm just... Yeah, I guess whatever. It's fine. Alright, opponent's giving up anyway. This just looked like they were playing an Orzhov control pile. I think if their plan was just to play a land and either destroy all our stuff with either of the 4 white or black 5 mana spells, you know, Ultima or Deadly Cover Up, then Spectacular Spider-Man means you just win. Because we would attack them down to 10 there and then play the Spectacular Spider-Man. I guess maybe not, right? Because it'd be 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'd be at 1. So they wouldn't have been dead necessarily. So no, could have been... Oh, no, actually, because we could have triggered Hawkeye too. Never mind. That would have been the extra 2. Yeah, that would have been game. Hawkeye just shoots the opponent for 2. Yeah, I think a lot of games are just going to come down to Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah, I think more than anything. It's just like, do you draw that? Does it keep you alive? If the answer is yes, you probably win. If not, you probably lose. I think that's what it is. All right, so we still have probably 30 to 45 minutes. So what other type of deck do we want to work on? Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a headache to play. Turns take forever. You know, I'm not one for disparaging other communities or games or groups because everybody's welcome to like what they like. But I will say this. In my experience, at one point I was running several major events for Yu-Gi-Oh! Including like a Shonen Jump or 2 for them, you know, like we were doing a lot of the stuff. And if I put Yu-Gi-Oh! In one pile, and I put every other game, literally, that I've ever played, judged, organized, whatever, in one pile, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has more fights, more police reports we had to file, more security issues, more thefts, more like you name it. It's a wild bit, and I don't know why that is. It just is. And I have some crazy stories from Yu-Gi-Oh! Events that we ran. Which maybe I'll put that on a second channel at some point, you know, stories from the industry, but it's just completely insane. I like the set, but I wish I had more mutants overall. Well, the reason is it doesn't, is you can't really just, for lack of a better term, like, just give everything away initially, right? Because we know there's going to be no less than 2 more sets, full sets, probably up to 5 if we are just going to put like 1 stone in every set, and then the gauntlet. But it's very likely we're going to get like a Midnight Sun set coming up, right? So you'll get like Ghost Rider, Punisher, Blade, Morbius, whatever, right? Like that'll probably live there. Probably going to get an X-Men set, right? Where you'll get Wolverine, Iceman, Cyclops, blah, blah, you know, all their enemies that they're up against, right? Like all that's going to be in there. So that'll probably be a set. So I would imagine that's why there weren't so many mutants in this set, is you're likely to get a set that's going to be mostly mutants at some point. if I were guessing about timelines, it's either going to be and this is me speculating, would be either the 2027 Marvel release or the 2028 release. The reason is you could then use mutant things with stuff from Ninja Turtles while they're both standard legal, right? That's how I would plan it and schedule it if I were on their end, because that just makes sense, right? And people that were looking for more stuff that cared about mutants, you'd have an opportunity to cross brand a bunch of the stuff and make people happy because they already own some of the cards. So that's probably what we'll see. Now, after those two, I don't know. You have a whole pile. Like, do you do Inhumans? Do you do West Coast Avengers? Do you do D-list teams? Do you, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways there's a billion here. Do you do major storylines, right? Is there a set just based around their multiverse? Because do you get like, Scarlet Witch getting rid of all the mutants? Do you do Days of Future Past? Do you do the future characters, right? With like Cable and Forge, or not Forge. Maybe it was, Forge chased Cable through time at one point, which was kind of weird. But there's a whole bunch of characters that fall into that space that you could do, right? Then we build all that up to the last set being the actual Infinity Gauntlet saga. And that's where you introduce all those characters, right? You get another Thanos, you get really all of the major players from there, Drax, blah blah, all the different races that we're dealing with space and the stones. So that's probably how they're going to map it out, I would think, but we don't really know. That's just me speculating. It just makes sense that we could. Hope Namor makes Merfolk competitive. The professor would be proud. I think it at least makes them playable on some level. Gruul colors or Boros colors? I still don't know the set that well yet. Fair enough. Fantastic Four Infinite Combo would be fun to see. Two things. One, I don't think that's even remotely viable because I think the cheapest one of those costs 4. If I'm not mistaken. So I mean, maybe there's some weird pile where you're trying to like ramp into it. Maybe. But yeah, because this costs 4. The Invisible Woman costs 5. Yeah, I don't think it's even possible to do. I mean, like, nothing's impossible, but to do consistently, I don't think it's really possible. Yeah, Johnny Storm, when you draw a card and deal 1 to target opponent, like, at least he only costs 3. And then the Thing costs a bunch too. So like, yeah, Thing costs, so they cost 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, that's a lot to ask when individually they don't do much. Like, this is probably the bet on doing something on its own. It's a 7/7 for and tramples for 6, and then occasionally, gets other counters, and that's cool. But yeah, I don't think that's a real deck. You could use search with the heroes to reduce their costs. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by search with the heroes. I meant a set theme X versus Avengers will come too. Yeah, that's probably a thing too, right? Avengers versus X-Men was a thing. So that's very possible. But yeah, the Fantastic Four Infinite Combo I don't think is a thing. Gruul could. I mean, it would just depend on what you want to base it around. Right? Because if you're talking about like Alien Invasion, I think you just do the typical rampy things, but use Alien Invasion as one of your cleanup cards. But I don't think there's anything wrong either with just deciding you want to go splashing white to take advantage of like kin binding and stuff, because that just makes sense. Yeah, I don't think science is really a theme though that we can get behind, because technically there's so many random creatures and characters that are scientists. Like, I don't think that really vibes. Sarah Farron, yeah, sure, that makes sense. If you want to do something with all the heroes, Or just legendary matters, right? Like with Naya as a whole, I think that's more than fine. Because like if you just go legendary, there's a billion things you can play and make a quality deck. I think we've done that even recently. Because probably starts with Zac Fair, so you have no way to protect creatures. God, there's so many we could pick. Actually, I didn't even, obviously Spectacular Spider-Man, some amount. Mind Stone doesn't really belong in something like that. Agent Bishop is interesting. Cap only protects heroes, so I don't think you would do that if that's the goal, just to play legends that matter. So you probably end up skipping a lot of the heroes, oddly. While they are legendary, I don't know if they are good enough to cleanly check the box to want to include. And a matter of fact, I might even just narrow this to 3 colors just to make life easy. Because it's probably the right way to go. Annie joins up. Yeah, that can make the cut in these types of lists. I've played it in some, I've not played it in others. But yeah, it's totally reasonable. Kellen isn't bad if you want another 1-drop. I'll put one temporarily there. Gwen Stacy if you want access to extra cards, but we're probably not flipping it too often. Definitely NT works. This is another spot where Hawkeye could be relevant, believe it or not. Hawkeye's just like a useful little quirky card. So I'm not sure how many lists is ultimately going to make his way into, but definitely worth considering. I forgot we got a J. Jonah Jameson card back in the Spider-Man. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play with it, but I know it exists. Yeah, probably those are the only red cards we would play. Probably so. And there's going to be some gold cards, I think, that make the cut too. But I don't think the rest of these do anything. Red Hulk's such a sweet looking piece of art, man. Such a cool card, but I don't think it really does much. I mean, it's a 6 mana, 6/7. Occasionally gets bigger when he takes damage. But that's about it. Nothing to really write home about on that one. Probably not playing Bristly Bill. Ooh, Shang-Chi, is there a reason to play that? I don't think so in this version. Though it's interesting. I don't think we would, actually. But it's at least worth stopping to have the thought of, like, it's possible. Ooh, Surrak, definitely. As a legend, we like that. I don't mind Tyvar, but it is double green, so a little less exciting, but not bad. Leatherhead, if we want... I mean, the 4 mana spot's probably going to get a little crowded, but I don't mind Leatherhead. It's generally useful. I also don't mind sometimes one big Surrak, so you can have more big hasty things. Occasionally, Earth King, I think, could make the cut, depending on what the rest of the deck ends up looking like. Sometimes, though, I do like having a Vivian Reed. So let's see where else. What else we got going on? No blue cards, because we don't have any blue mana. No black mana. Again, some lands could maybe make it possible, but not really what we're shooting for. Isn't Thor good? If you have a lot of non-creature spells, yes. If you have a lot of creature spells, no. Because it just doesn't do anything. I mean, it's a 5/5 flyer, but, I mean, so are a lot of the dragons or whatever, you know? Laughing Jasper is funny if we had a little extra there for that. You know, when the set came out, initially, Spider-Man, I thought Kraven the Hunter was going to be a little more played, truthfully. It's like a 3 mana 4/3 with trample. You kill something, it gets a counter, you get to draw a card. Like, it has all the words that make sense, and it just got virtually no play. Which I shouldn't be totally surprised by that. Obviously, there's a lot of good cards available in Standard, but still surprising to some extent. Oh, Moira's also here, but we're not playing enough. I don't think. Just getting the extra 1 mana probably isn't it. Not bad to try to gain life, though. Obviously, we're going to be playing... You know what? I might play Moira still. Going to play Helena and Elena. Anzrag probably doesn't make the cut. This is a spot where we could experiment with Wolverine if we wanted to. He's probably not going to make the final cut. Roxanne, also not bad. Especially if we're going to play Annie joins up in the list. Anything in red-white that we want? Lightning, we tried lightning for a minute and it was okay, but we ended up not committing to that card. Though we don't really have many 3-mana things in here, so yeah, maybe. Wouldn't be the worst thing. Maybe I put one just to see. This is basically going to be all creatures in this deck. I don't know how I feel about this now. Sarah Farron, obviously we want those. Those are good. Occasionally I've played Selvala and not minded it, but I don't think we necessarily need it in this list. That might be it. We might just be on this and then some Annie joins up or whatever, and that might be all. Man, Garrett is still standard legal, huh? I think I built one deck with this when it first came out and haven't played anything with it since. Yeah, I think we go with a couple Annie joins up. This is going to be weird having Annie joins up and Wolverine as some of our main removal, but you know, this is just the road I went down. So this is where we are. All right. Obviously way too many cards, right? Oh, not way too many. We're at 64. I thought we were going to be way over the line. Okay. So we're closer than I thought initially. So that's good. If we want to play Roxanne and Vivian and Elspeth, like where do we cut? Okay, we can cut one Elspeth. We can cut, I don't know how many Sarah Farrons we can get away with cutting if we're going to be doing this. Because we have to keep the Zach Fairs and the Spider-Mans. I don't think that's really a discussion. Do we want more Hawkeyes or not? Or do we want no Hawkeyes? Could also be a discussion. Maybe we go no. We have Ruby, Inti, and Spider-Man in the 3 slot. Maybe we don't want Hawkeye? I don't know. Let's find out. I think we can do without Lightning, though the lifelink is nice. Lightning is still only a 3/2. So that's probably okay. Man, the thing is, like, when lightning hits, it just gets chump blocked all the time, though, because, like, the impact of what it can do is so much, you know? Wished you joined during the times when Ravnica or Tarkir was fresh released. Well, you know, the way Magic works, you play long enough, there will eventually be another one of each of those. I mean, I say that. We may not do Ravnica for a bit, but who knows? The last Tarkir set did well. We might go back to Tarkir before we do Ravnica again. I don't think this is an Anim Pakal type situation. I think the goal here is just you're trying to go bigger faster. We're not trying to do tokens necessarily. This is a no removal 32 creature. Not technically no removal. I mean, you do have Annie joins up, Wolverine, and Roxanne. Ooh, actually, I just realized something. If you have Annie joins up with Wolverine, you could fight 2 things or fight the same thing twice. That could be kind of fun. Hadn't really considered that. That's amusing. Maybe this is the way we go about business? With 9 2-drops. Is that the way we want to go? 4 1s, 9 2s, and then everything else is bigger. I mean, if we hit a Sarah Farron, that does unlock, like, early Lana Lena's Wolverines. Like, maybe this is a thing? Man, this feels so sketchy, with our removal being 4 mana things and we only have 5 of them. Technically, I guess 6 of them, because Elspeth is pseudo removal as well. I don't even know what Living Legend is. Was it Murder Say? Yeah, here's the thing, though. Like, I had beef with Murders because it was set in Ravnica, but only as a backdrop, right? Like, the guilds didn't really matter. Right? They were just there. And even the major characters weren't really involved. And then the murderer wasn't even one of the main characters. It was like a random side character. It wasn't even the side. It was one of the 3 that make up the character. Like randomly, one of the triplets of Trostani decided she was going to go rogue and kill somebody or something, I think. So it's like, we didn't even commit to the bit, you know? Like, that was my issue. I think it would have been better if we'd have went back to New Capenna, and then like the families were blaming each other for the murder, and then we find out it's like somebody's right-hand man that was trying to frame somebody else or whatever, and that would have been a cooler story. And it makes sense in New Capenna because there's already crime going on, and you know, like, that's me. Like, I get the idea of setting it in Ravnica because you know, there's a lot of good feels with Ravnica. People would be excited about it. But when people hear it's in Ravnica and then we get there and the color pairs don't matter and the major players don't matter, then we kind of wasted an opportunity to do something on Ravnica. You know what I mean? Yeah, Captain America, I don't think any of them particularly work well here, except for maybe the flying one. I think this one. Like, I think there's an argument to be made for this, just when it attacks each other here. Oh, it's only for other heroes. It's not even each other creature. Oh, never mind. We're not playing enough heroes for either of these to matter, really. So then, that's that. Like, I thought for a second, and I was wrong. That's what I get for thinking. Yeah, maybe we try this. This is just, man, this is a very, like, shields down, the deck's just going to try to do what it does kind of scenario. This is about to be wild. We want... Ooh, wait. How many humans do we have? Because I just realized we might want the wolf that gives you any color, but then when you play a human, it gets a +1/+1 counter. That could be kind of good, actually. I don't know why I just thought of that, but that might actually be relevant. We do have a lot of creatures, so we can skimp on a couple. So maybe Surak has to go, because our 4s and 5s are already a little bit crowded. And because I want to play 2 of those, I think. Yeah, Torgal. I don't know why that just hit me that we could play that. And it makes so much sense, actually. If we play Torgal, we're going to need more green, though. And then we'll play these. All right. So I want to play at least 2. Maybe 4 Serapharins too many? I can't imagine that's correct. Like, Ferrosarin's probably fine, right? Maybe. Or maybe the plan is no Kellen. We just go with the Zac Fair. Maybe we're supposed to play 4 Zac Fair. Yeah, this is why deck building's difficult, y'all. Like, you can just put yourself in a blender with decisions. Do we just go 1 Roxanne? I mean, this is the thing is, Roxanne becomes more viable as we add the Torgals, because then we have Torgal, Ruby, Moira, and Serapharin to make her cheaper. So then we kind of don't want to cut that in a weird way. Ugh, this is difficult. Maybe though it is cut a Serapharin. Man. Something's got to get cut. That's all I know. Something's not going to survive. Maybe we just cut down to 2 rubies. Oh, is that not it? Creature type wolf? What is the name of that guy? Why is it not showing up? Is it? Oh, he's right here. I spelled it wrong. It's an E, or A, not an E. All right. Maybe we only go 2 rubies instead of 4. Maybe that's where we make the cut. Because this card's actually kind of nice. But Ruby also having haste is like sometimes only costs 1 mana and lets you play 2 things in a turn. All right, so maybe honestly the right answer is probably cut a Serapharin, but this will be fine for now. Now let's go 2 lands tapped. So we'll play. Oh, we don't have the green-white one. That's unfortunate. We have the new lands, I guess. I mean, we could play Inspiring Vantage, but I don't know. We have so many green things. We need more green lands than white lands is the problem. There's the new ones. I don't even know how many I've opened so far. Control a basic, I think is the text that's on those. Yeah. So a couple of gathering places. I mean, we could try like 3 of these. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of just guessing as we go along. Why is it trying to give me so many? We definitely have more. Why is it trying to leave so many mountains? I guess because I've added so many other ones. Okay, interesting. Sometimes I'm curious how Arena tries to split up the mana, but I think a couple of Verges could probably be correct. I don't think I mean, I guess we could go 1 training ground just to test it. Some of this is literally just trial and error, so I'm just giving a couple of things a go here. And then it still gives us 5 basics we can go get. We have all the shock lands. I mean, maybe this works. We have enough lands that we don't have to take a ton of damage necessarily, depending on what we're playing early. I don't know. Let's try it. We're just going to call this Legends and see what happens. Though, every time I get to this point, hey, thanks for that. I do kinda want to play like a Bossing Say or something every time. But I think, since we have like Lana Lena that can give something haste, we have Wolverine that can have haste itself, we can get some damage from Roxanne, like, maybe we don't necessarily need it. Though, I think the decision I'm going to make here is I am going to leave 1 big Surrak back in the list. I don't know why, something just makes me feel like that's what I want, especially if we're going to have enough mana. Like, maybe sometimes we can go from 2 to 4, and it'd be nice having a couple more payoffs at 4, but we'll see. Again, some of this is just probably being overthought. But yeah, let's go see if this is a thing. This is one I'll probably clean up after the stream, and we'll probably turn it into a real video. But could be fun. Are the new Marvel lands better replacements for the Verges? I think they are very different cards. We can cast everything, so sure. We'll keep it. I mean, it's going to be a little bit painful along the way, but we can do it. Who is out here bringing some chocobos to this fight? What kind of monster are you? All right. We'll play Ruby, pass, because Ruby can at least sack Zach fair. I guess I could have attacked with Zach if I really wanted to, but this discourages the opponent from wanting to attack from any real scenarios, I'd imagine. Keen-eyed Curator. You got it. So now, do we just Annie joins up is the question. Because if we Sarah Farron, then next turn we play this for 1, and then we Annie joins up. Is that a better use of mana? Probably. But if we Sarah Farron, we just get to do that now, right? Yeah, that's pretty big. Let's go for it. Yep, transform. And then we will attack, I think, with Zach Fair. Well, I'd just be trading Zach for the Keen-Eyed Curator, though, huh? That's not great. Yeah, no attacks. That's not great. I'll wait till we can use the Annie joins up or whatever. Assuming they don't have a protective spell, which they very well might. All right, there's a late Atlanta War Elf. Okay, so they don't have a pump spell, because they probably would have attacked there, which they didn't. So what if we Surrak first, and then we just cast the Annie joins up and see if they have anything worth dealing with. Do we care more about the Chocobo or the... Probably just the Chocobo, right? Yeah. Okay, so they don't have anything. Well, that's good to know. All right, well, if you're going to get rid of something, opponent, this is your one shot. Probably about to get epic fighted or something, which why I probably should have killed the Keen-Eyed Curator. All right, here we go. When your opponent starts manually tapping, you're just like, this never feels good. Oh, it was a Mossborn, however. It was not an epic fight. Sure. So we're dead next turn anyway, right? Unless we find exactly a thing to get rid of the Hydra. Fair enough. That is not going to do it. So very likely we're just dead. All right. Well, we tried our best. It was not good enough. Give you haste, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. So minimum, that's going to be a 4, then an 8. If they play a land, it's 16. So if they have anything good, we just die, right? I mean, we can still leave some back to block, but we're at 18. I think this is the best we could do. That makes sense. All right. I mean, if we'd attacked with everything, it wouldn't have done much. They just go to 1, so it doesn't do much. We just die the easy way that way. At least here we force them to have a thing. I mean, also if they just pump Hydra, right? Wait, they're not sacking the demolition field? Oh, then we're dead, right? What? Are we just gonna put the enchantment on the Hydra or something? I'm just trying to figure out how we lose from here. I don't think we do now. Oh, here we go. Nope, that's a Badger Mole Cub. I mean, that's a lot of blockers for them, though, so they're not dead. All right, can we find Halana Nalena would be sweet? Opponent? Like, if they block, that's 13. Yeah, we're just letting it through, I guess. Maybe they forgot we have trample? Am I missing something? Well, you're awesome. Love that. So now something else can have trample. Probably give it to itself. All right. You get haste. You get haste. And then everybody's in the pool. Oh, I forgot. I was going to get 2 triggers on Ruby. Never mind. She has to get the trample. There's so many triggers happening right now. +1 for you. Yeah, I have nothing else to discard. I'm just getting free cards. All right, sounds good. That should be way more than enough. Thank you, NT, just for making it easy. Yep. Yeah, I would assume the 8/8 was going to stay back. I was really, really surprised that attacked. Yeah, the trample's going to be a winner. Yeah, we played versions of this deck before, and it was still pretty solid. So I'll probably update this, but I'm going to look for a couple more new cards to add, I think. Because I don't feel like this has enough, and there's got to be at least 1 or 2 other heroes that are probably worth including. Because I think the only thing we added was Wolverine. Right? Because Spider-Man was already around. It's like, yeah, I'll need to go back through and look at all the legends in this set and see what's worth adding. Because I feel like we could do a little more with this. You wish they would reprint the land that taps for any car for legends, or that's just rotated last rotation. Tap for any color of legends? Oh, are you talking about the artifact? The Relic of Legends? No, but you said land. I don't know what you're referring to, because we still have, like, all the other lands that tap for multiple colors, right? So I don't think mana is the problem, right? Even in the colors that don't necessarily have, like, a fast land or whatever, we have Cavern of Souls, Secluded Courtyard, Multiversal Passage, Starting Town, right? We have so many ways to get colors. I don't think mana is the problem. Like, we can play any colors we want right now. Some of them will be slightly less efficient, or you may have to take a couple more points of damage for your lands or whatever. But ultimately, we can play any color. Oh, yeah. Same thing with Plaza. Like, Plaza, the real benefit to Plaza is you could use Plaza to save a creature, right? That was the real upside. Plaza of Heroes. But yeah, just getting the color doesn't really matter right now. But yeah, getting to save a creature would still be pretty clutch. I could get on board with that for sure. But yeah, maybe we'll just have to figure out what other creature. Maybe I just have to look specifically in the Spider-Man set. I say Spider-Man, superheroes. Oh, what am I thinking? We should have had Jennifer Walters in here. Especially if we're going to get to cast stuff cheaply with all the mana. This is exactly a card that should have been in here. Why did I not think of that? Because, I mean, just being able to stop counters or your opponent from moving stuff on a turn, especially when we, like, draw Halana Nalena and you want to make sure you can put the counters and give something haste. Yeah, Jennifer Walters would be great. And it's a good late game card, right? So, definitely should have done that. And it's a human, right? It also works with Torgal, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm going to earmark one of these to go in. I'll have to move pieces around, obviously, and figure out what works where. Damn, maybe Moira doesn't make the cut. I was keeping Moira around just because, like, occasionally we get some life off of it, but maybe that's not even what we're trying to do right now. I also kind of like Monica Rambeau. I mean, not in this particular deck, but I want to find more stuff to play her because, man, just having a straight up hexproof 4/4 that gets your stuff bigger, it's like awesome. Like, hard to be mad at that card. Yeah, Coulson just only puts counters on heroes, so like not the most exciting thing. Yeah, unfortunately, so many of the heroes seem to care about other heroes, and that's sad for us. Makes it stuff we don't want to play. This is when we draw a card, so it's probably not going to trigger for us. What does Iron Fist do? Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature? Oh, that's not happening. Scarlet Witch doesn't do anything because it's just for instants and sorceries. Wonder Man. We don't have any power-up abilities, really. Rick Jones. Who? Not milling ourselves. This is when we gain life. Though if you are playing the Abzan life gain deck, you got another creature that tramples and gets bigger and has flash. So it's a very fun addition for that list. Yeah, I guess there's not a lot we would add. So I'm just looking right now and just like, what would we fill this list with? But really not much. Tap target creature and opponent controls. Not really interested in that. This you need like equipment to blink out. Ares, but that's in black. Though we do have multi-lands that maybe we could... Nah, it's outside of color. We don't really need to go stretching for that card. Though, getting to play Daredevil, another hasty creature with vigilance, and it's a human. So I wouldn't mind that, going from turn 2 to turn 4 into a Daredevil, maybe? And another way to get cards. I'll earmark a Daredevil. I'm not opposed to that. Don't mind Black Panther, but I don't think this is so much... Oh, no, because it's a non-token hero. So, again, something cares about heroes. Can't do that. Storm seems so cool, and I have zero ideas of what deck is going to be able to play this. It's almost like you want to play a repartee deck, but then just splash green for Storm. Just so you have stuff that targets creatures. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the only real thing I could think of to do with this. But it just doesn't do much of anything. What is this person even in here doing? Like, hold on a second. Bloop. Awesome. And we will never see that person again. I love the hide user from channel button. I use mine pretty liberally. And that's a great use for it. Because here's the funny thing. And And honestly, in whatever, like I get negative comments all the time. I've used to, hell, believe me, I had a nerd store in the Bible Belt of Texas as a black guy. So like I've seen some things. But I do find it strange the amount of energy and effort it takes people to go into another space to just be super negative about a thing for no reason at all. Because the reality is, if you applied that same energy, even if it's just minutes or a couple of hours, like you could be so much more productive in your own life. You could be advancing the thing that you do favor. Like, why show up, at least in this case, in other streams to just like be a weirdo? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's very weird. And other than just like filling the chat with junk and all I have to do is hit a button, it doesn't really affect me. It's just awkward. Like, I don't really know what you're hoping to achieve. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to change anybody's opinion. Yeah, right? You're not going to you're not creating a scenario. Oh, hey, thanks for subscribing. Right? You're not going to create a scenario where somebody from that other sector is going to now magically agree with you because you came in with all this weird bad energy, right? Like, what are we doing? It's very weird. Like, I've literally had people come to my front door and say some crazy stuff just because I'm a black guy. So, like, whatever. And the same thing of like, I don't know what you're hoping to change here. You know, it's very awkward. Seeing me pass by Black Panther and thinking about it more, Uncle Dragon is right about being standard playable. You know what? Like, I don't like to hate on cards. I want more fun cards to be playable. Like, I'm on the exact opposite end of what a lot of people think I am a lot of the times. Like, I want there to be more fun cards. So it's weird to me when people want to jump on our throat, like, I don't know how you're just hating on this. And but like, dude, I'm not hating. Like, I'm just giving information to try to help y'all out. It's ultimately your resources and your money. If I'm wrong, go buy the cards, go craft them and play, have fun with them. Prove that I'm wrong. Like, I don't mind. Like, I have no dog in the fight one way or the other. I'm just sharing information that I spent time trying to figure out, which, by the way, last week was a crazy week for me to still make those videos for y'all. Because Wednesday, woke up at 7, sometime early, and then got myself together, did some final things to make sure my setup would work, went to the airport, took a flight, went to LA, met up with the guys, went to the Airbnb, set up a whole thing. Things still weren't working, had to make that work. Streamed till 9:30. Didn't start streaming till 2:30. Streamed till 9:30. Had to edit stuff, and it was not the best editing environment because I don't have all my normal equipment. But anyway, still got stuff edited. Went to sleep at like 3 in the morning. Woke up, shot stuff with Tabletop Jocks the next day. So you'll see those videos in a couple months. And then went back to Airbnb, had to edit some more, get that stuff done. Then on Friday and Saturday, started researching so I could go back and watch other videos from other things. And then tried to call around to stores in the area and visit a couple of stores where I could, in the LA area, since I'm not in my normal home area, just going to do the same thing somewhere else. Then reached out to a few people, had some discussions, and then got back on Sunday afternoon and made those videos and edited them so they were up on Monday. So y'all still had those on time before the set launch. So I hope you're appreciative because I did not get a lot of sleep. Well, last night I slept a lot. But before that, there was about 4 or 5 days where I didn't get a lot of sleep, trying to make sure I still delivered everything. Power Dad said with love, you know what? I will be people's surrogate dad where it needs to be. I definitely was for a lot of people that came through my store, and getting to see them do nice things in life now is very cool. Some people look at me as a mentor. I'm a lot of people's uncle, like, so I get it. That's why we started using the term like Uncle Dragon, because like I just play that role for some people, and it's funny. But how's it going, Daniel? Welcome. Kind of getting close to the wrap up. But okay, so anyway, I think we cut Kellen, right? Because I think it's more important to have a couple of copies of Jennifer Walters, especially if we're going to be making extra mana. I think that's good. I think we cut Moira. We add another Torgal. Man, can we play more Daredevils? I don't know if we can or not. Man, the 2-mana slot is so tight in this list, I think is the issue. And we saw that like having Surak is good, right? Just giving other things haste. Though Wolverine has haste, Daredevil has haste, Alana and Lena have man. Am I going down to 1 Roxanne or no Roxannes? Like, is that what we're supposed to be doing? It doesn't make me feel good, I'm not gonna lie. But if we're cutting Roxanne as an excuse to get to play more new cards, then maybe that's the justification. That's okay. And then, I don't know, we work in 1 more Daredevil or 1 more Wolverine. Because Wolverine's still removal in this list. But, you know, Daredevil with bonuses is not bad from other things in the deck. And maybe we get more cards. He only gets +2/+1 till the turn, but he does become a 5/5. Maybe we just put 2 in just to experiment. I'll come back to it later. But then we at least have some Jennifer Walters, though arguably maybe that's the thing that needs to have 3 copies. And then we have Wolverine and we have Daredevil. So they at least make the cut and get to do something. But yeah, this deck can probably reliably cast the She-Hulk, which is a thing, right? Between Torgal, Ruby. Oh, not necessarily, because we cut Moira, though. We do have Sarah Farron, though, that still makes stuff cheap. So that could also be a thing. That actually makes casting the backside of several of these things a little bit easier with Sarah Farron, now that I'm thinking about it. How many other things do we want to play with Transform? Hold, please. Yeah, I still have a few minutes. Cut 1 Vivian. The thing about Vivian is Vivian and Leatherhead are our only things to deal with artifacts and enchantments. And we're already at 1 Vivian. And Vivian can also dig to find other key cards. So when you're late in the game and you're just like, okay, I just need a haste creature, right? It can go find a Wolverine, for example, right? Or whatever the case is. So I'd be more inclined to cut Elspeth before cutting Vivian in this list. Because it's a list that's basically all creatures. It's 32 bodies and 5 non-creature spells. One of those being Vivian. Now, the other thing is we could just say, hey, we know that practice offense is a stupid magic card. And maybe we just say no Vivian, no Elspeth, and it's just legends to beat your opponent down quick, right? Because you could have turns, realistically, where you turn 1, Zach Fair, turn 2, mana creature, turn 3, Sarah Farron, it flips. Turn 4, you play something with haste and practiced offense, and that would be close to winning the game, which is kind of absurd. Because everything would already have +2, plus you're getting the extra counter, and you're getting the double strike. Like, that's nothing to turn your nose up at, you know? So that's a real thing that could happen. So maybe that's what we want to do. Maybe we're no planeswalkers and we're just playing practiced offense, which feels a little weird. And then our removal is pretty much just down to really just Wolverines. And well, Annie joins up in Wolverine. No Elspeth, but that could be a thing. And I don't think it would be crazy because Torgal and Ruby both let us spend mana on whatever. It doesn't have to be spent on creatures. You just get an extra +1/+1 on the creature if it was a human. So maybe. I don't think you really need more 1-drops, though. Like, the thing is, we don't have to win super fast. Because remember, we also have stuff that has trample and whatnot, too. Right? Between Surak, Leatherhead. Well, Wolverine doesn't have trample. He has haste. And Inti also gives stuff trample. So when you're double striking with trample, that's also good enough. So like I could see that being a thing. I think the issue really though comes down to what do we expect to run into more, right? Because if we're going to run into more creature based decks, then having the practice offense are probably better. If we're going to run into more non-creature decks, or control-y piles of things or whatever, then you probably want to keep the 2 planeswalkers. I think is what it is. Don't get me wrong, like, practice offense can still just win, but your opponent can also respond, kill the thing you target, but double strike, you know, whatever. So it loses some value in those scenarios. So I'd have to really think about that, actually. Because that could make sense, especially with the sheer number of creatures we have. And Sarah Farron just giving you, like, big turn 4s out of nowhere, right? Which could also be a thing. So yeah, I don't know. That's a real tough decision. Or do we just want another Jennifer Walters and just say, hey, if there are a bunch of non-creature decks, maybe they just can't target our things. And that's good enough. Or can't cast things on our turn, right? They can still target stuff. But maybe? Because, I mean, at that point, we could go... I mean, I don't know. The 2 Planeswalkers are both good, actually. I was like, I don't know. It's like we could do without Elspeth, but again, in creature fights, you could fly over the top. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Which one makes more sense? But we at least did move to mostly humans, which is also nice, because now the only non-humans are Leatherhead and Wolverine. I think every other creature is a human, so that now works with Torgal pretty well across the board, which is nice. So you're almost always going to get the extra +1 when you cast something. So I like that. So yeah, something in this space is probably it. And then we at least have Zach and Spectacular Spider-Man to try to protect us against, like, Avengers Disassemble or something. Because that's going to be everywhere, I'm assuming. I think that's kind of just where we're at the moment. You keep believing Black Panther is going to be super playable, but in those older formats? Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Because this card reads very well, right? Let me move myself over so we can read the card. But it reads great, right? It's a 3-mana, 3/2 with flash. Hey, somebody just became a channel member. Thank you. But the problem with this card is that it doesn't, unlike the fairy we had a while back, right? This doesn't have a way to make people draw cards. So you need to be in an environment where people are already drawing extra cards, or else it's just kind of just a 3/2. And in those cases, it's just getting blocked all the time. The backside, having a 3/3 double striker seems kind of awesome. But, like, prevent all damage to be dealt to it, great, right? Awesome. But it's 6 mana, or you're trying to trick it onto the battlefield. And then you're hoping your opponent's not chump blocking because it doesn't have trample or menace or anything like that. And if they do, it's like, all right, you just ran your 3/3 double striker into a 1/1 or a 2/2, and then you didn't get the card either. So I say that to say, I don't think the card's terrible. Like, it has all the words that make you want to play it. I just don't know what deck wants to play it right now. Because all the hero decks I think about building don't really want it. The control decks that can play it don't really need it. Like, they could, but there's also, like, the big 5/5 Emeritus or whatever that you can just draw 3 cards for the extra lesson or whatever the thing is the thing makes, right? The spell. So it's just like, why would you really play Black Panther, right? And the 5/5 flies, so it's automatically going to get through. There's just more things. That's why people are like, oh, a control deck. I'm like, sure, but what control deck wants this as the finisher? Because again, for the same 6 mana, you can literally get a 5/5 flyer and draw 3 cards. Right? Like, that's a thing right now. Oh, because I'm not, I'm still looking at just the, there we go. Do I not have any of the blue Emeritus crafted? That's wild. I didn't put them in any decks last season. Oh, because I don't have the colors highlighted. There we go. This one, right? So for 6 mana, which is the good side that the control decks would want on the Black Panther, right? The backside. You can literally get a 5/5, not just that, a 5/5 flyer that has ward of 2, and you get 3 cards from the Ancestral Recall. You know what I mean? Like, this just feels better. So if I was going to play a control deck, I'm more likely to play this. I'm not saying I'm playing either one of them, because a lot of the control decks right now are just killing you with, like, Jeskai Revelations and stuff. They don't even need either of these cards. But in a world where I want a creature finisher, I'm probably playing this right now. Before playing again, I would change the mana base, at least add a Cavernous Souls. I would cut. That's probably. I mean, we'd only maybe play. No. You don't want less basics right now. That is not a thing. Like, granted, I would change the basics. I don't know why Arena wants there to be so many red basics. I would change them to all green and white for the most part, because all the red stuff. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I'd be more likely to have like, the other lands make sense. I don't know. Maybe something like this. But yeah, I want basics for sure. If anything, I'm cutting like a gathering place and a training compound for like 2 Cavern of Souls if I'm going to do that. And again, that's mostly just for the control matchups. And you're just putting it on human and just hoping to hit all your stuff along the way, really. That's all that's going to happen there. Apply geometry on Frostcliff Siege? Yeah, I could see that being a thing. That's legit. You could play the first one just to get the +1/+0 and haste, and then you could play the second one to let you draw cards. And that could make a lot of sense. But yeah, we could cut like training compound, a gathering place, and just play 2 Cavern. But yeah, there's just too many things right now between Avengers Disassembled, people playing all the like demolition fields, like I don't know if I'd want to play at least 3 basics, but probably 4 or 5 in a lot of lists right now. And for the most part, this list, if you get white or green lands, you're going to be able to cast most of your stuff, right? Because there's just so many multi-lands and different things. I don't think that's going to be a major issue. But you never know. We'll see. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But yeah, I think this should be fine. Could we get away with more Cavern of Souls? Probably. I don't know. After playing a few games, we could experiment and find out. But I do think the new heroes we get to add are kind of cool, right? Jennifer Walters adds something to the deck. Wolverine's a removal spell that the deck doesn't have to stop playing creatures for, which is nice. And again, maybe double down with Annie Joins Up. Could be a lot of fun there. And then we just get to see if Daredevil does something. The toughest thing about Daredevil for me, though, and I don't remember, I might have put him on the don't craft list because I think a lot of people were trying to play him and wasn't doing a lot, is in most lists, you don't have the mana to play the card on top of your library. So you're just playing them and you're like, well, I don't want to attack because I want the card on top, or I'm just going to attack and it's whatever, But in this list, he's almost never going to be a 2/1 or get the 2/1 because it has to be a hero card. So we're mostly just going to be getting the extra card off the top, hopefully. But we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm at least going to experiment with it and see. But maybe, who knows, maybe the spot ends up being an Incredible Hulk or something at the end of it. But yeah, I do like me some applied geometry. I think it's neat. Fearless, how's it going? Econo says, I'm bad at drafting on Arena. Somehow I get a happy mid-table placement at pre-release locally, but on Arena, always slaughtered, even watching all these videos. It's too free to play for me, perhaps. There could be a couple of things at play, right? It's possible that you're running into more draft enthusiasts that play more draft and are better at the format on Arena than you are playing in your local store, because a lot of people that play locally just draft like once a week, or they just play during pre-release weekends, right? They're not drafting regularly throughout the week and getting all the reps in. So that's possible. It's also possible that you just play better in person than you do on Arena, right? That's a thing that can happen. You might just having the cards might make it easier for you to read the signals of what's going on at the table or whatever versus what's coming around in Arena. Granted, it's the same skills, but sometimes people just function in one thing better than the other. It's like how some people would rather read an article than have a video telling them what the article says, right? People just learn differently. And also, could just be coincidence. Could just be bad luck. You never know. Tommy says, I think King T'Challa could work if Standard gets some Teferi's tutelage effects. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know what those would need to look like to be playable, I think is the issue. Like, because don't get me wrong, there's a card right now, right? An Aura that lets you draw a card during your turn. Like this thing, Super Intelligence, right? At the beginning of upkeep on Enchanted Creature's controller, that player draws a card. So you could just play it on something and draw a card, or they draw a card. I guess you would still get a thing. So like that's a way you can do it. But again, I don't think that card's necessarily quite good enough that it justifies playing the other card is the issue. You're welcome. I try to respond right. I mean, sometimes chat just gets away or we're playing games, but when we have downtime, I try to respond to a bunch of stuff. When you're at your LGS, I find it better since you draft cube in that way, where your ops on arena is more random. That's fair. Really want to see shield flying car in some decks. It would work great with ETB effects. Shield flying car? You mean the Fantastic car? Did I miss something? There's a shield flying car? Nope. Is there just flying car? I mean, there's Voyager glide car. I don't know of anything that's a shield flying car. There's, like I said, there's a fan. Oh, this thing. Exile up to one target creature you control, return that creature. Here's the thing. We were talking about this in another video, right? There's enough there. It feels like every set we've gotten at least one card, if not two, that care about blinking something in or out of play and triggering something. But ultimately, we're just not there, right? Like, I don't know what... I guess the question is, how good would the ETB triggers need to be to justify playing that as a theme right now? Because the only thing we really had that's made sense is playing them in the Manifest deck or whatever, right? I think that's what... Or Manifest Dread. I think that's the only thing that's really been taking advantage of those. And that's just because you're like getting things face down that you could turn face up or whatever, right? On the cheap. And that makes sense. But I don't know if there's another deck like that. Because you still have the fairy that does that too, right? That has the spell that can do, the adventure that can do it. There's a few cards that are pretty good that we just don't see very much. Because there's just not enough. I mean, maybe you're closer now. Because you can... with all the heroes, maybe with transform, because you can still play like your Jennifer Walters and stuff of the world, and then maybe play this, blink it away, replay it. I mean, maybe like, I don't know, maybe that's something. Feels like it would still take a little work to make it work, but if it does, it'd be kind of fun. But anyway, y'all, I think this is where I have to wrap up the stream because I need to grab a bite to eat because I have to go record a podcast with Magic Mike's. We will be live. We're going to be talking about our top 10 cards, each of us, from Marvel Superheroes. So if you will come